Oh, this feels so formal in my chair. Hello again, YouTube, and as per requested, I am going to do a video basically how I got into health and fitness, how I became a coach, and basically how I got here. So let's start from the very beginning. Now, I always get asked, have I always been into... Oh, my baby's awake. I'm going to give him 5 minutes and see if he goes back to sleep because he hasn't slept for very long. So I'm going to continue talking and I'm going to mute him. Sorry, I look really chubby. I don't have any clothes. So, very beginning. So yes, I always get asked if I've always been into health and fitness and training, and the answer is yes. I was very athletic as a kid. I did literally everything. I did athletics, I did horse riding, I did football. I loved running. I was fucking quick. I would do 100 metre, 200 metres. On sports day, I would literally do everything but like 400 and 1500 metres because I can't long distance run for shit and I hate losing, so I would always refuse to do them. But I would always win 100, 200 and then place the second in pretty much everything. Surprised I didn't get, what's it called? Headhunted? No. I don't know the word. So yeah, I've always been into it. I would go to gym classes with my mum, and yeah, I've always loved the gym. Well, not gym, exercise. I got into the gym when I was 16. No, 15. I was 15 because I turned 16 when I was at the gym. But prior to that, I basically think that anyone who gets into the gym and gets into health and fitness, we always do it for a much deeper reason than what we think. I think a lot of the time people will just do it because they're like, oh, I want to lose weight. When in reality, it's like, well, why do you want to lose weight? Is it because your dad died of a heart attack and you're health conscious? Is it because you were bullied in school? Is it because you've got a birthmark that you are self-conscious about? I'm going to go get Bear. He can join this video. Here he is. Hi everyone. Are you gonna sit here for a little bit? We'll have a little talk. So yes, I've always been into health and fitness. The reason I originally, well, I didn't start my journey healthy, let's put it that way. I was in school and I got alopecia. So alopecia, if you don't know what it is, it's like an autoimmune condition basically where your body attacks your hair follicles, and you can get it all over your body. You can get it on your eyebrows, you can get it on your legs. I got it just on my head. So my mum was doing it in my hair one morning. Yeah, and she was like, Jamie, this was just before my 10th birthday. And my mum was like, Jamie, you're like bald. From here down, I was bald. Did not know it had happened. And then my mum checked all over my head and I had a big bald patch at the top of my head. We obviously went to the doctors and they told us what it was, and they still really don't know what the cause of alopecia is. They think it's mainly like stress related or hormone. Obviously I was 9, so I was a few years away from puberty. Hi. But yeah, they don't know why. It just happens. And I always say I wish I got it on like my legs and my armpits instead of my head. That would have been lovely. That would have been saved me so much money on waxing. Not that I wax, I don't do that, I'm shaving. So for me, my reason I started trying to lose weight and eating right was because I felt inadequate as a woman. Like as a woman, we are known for having hair. It's quite a large feature of us, you know what I mean? And because I had lost it, I was very self-conscious, and I sort of went into my shell. I was a very outgoing child, and then once I hit secondary school, because I had alopecia, I got really shy, and just quite self-conscious, so it really affected me personality wise. So yeah, I started looking to lose weight basically because I thought, well, if I've got bald on my head, if I have a really good body, then it doesn't matter. So that was how I got into it. And like I say, I started training at 16, basically doing everything you don't want to do. I was training 7 days a week. I wasn't eating properly. I was just so... I was strong. I was fucking strong, stronger than I am now. Just because I was so... I don't want to say driven. I was obsessed, but in an unhealthy way. I started having binge eating disorders, and yeah, it just was not very good for the first sort of, I'd say, 3 to 4 years of my health and fitness journey. I was as far away as healthy than you could get. Do you know what I mean? I was binge eating. I would refuse to go out for meals with family, or if we had a family meal, I would be like so nervous, and I would either take Tupperware out with me, or I'd be like, oh, I can't, I've got a bad stomach. And oh my God, I suffered with my stomach massively. I had like IBS, and just because I was so stressed and I wasn't eating properly, I was not healthy. And so I spent all that time training really fucking hard, and what I thought eating right, I mean, I would eat healthy, I would eat rice cakes, I would eat oats, I would eat peanut butter, and then I'd have my cheat meal at the weekend, and then that would start a binge, and then I would be like, one, I'm losing weight, one, I'm gaining muscle. And it's like, well, I wasn't doing anything I needed to do to achieve those. So I was like, right, I need to do something. I need to do something because I'm not seeing results. Oh, I know, I'll compete. So I started looking to compete. It's very handy I've got a desk here to give all this stuff to him, isn't it? So I started looking to compete. I got myself a few coaches. So I decided that I wanted to compete, right? And I was like, right, well, before I do, I should like go to the doctors and get a blood test, just to make sure that everything's like okay. And I went and got a blood test, and I didn't think anything of the fact that I had been having periods on and off for like my whole life, and the fact that I was having unprotected sex with my partner for a good couple years and didn't get pregnant. So, sorry Bear, you don't need to hear this. So, went to the doctors, got the results back, and I had PCOS. And that was like a huge wake-up call for me. I've always wanted to have children, and I've always wanted to be a mummy, which obviously I am now. This is my child, this isn't one I stole. And I was like, right, I need to change, I need to sort myself out. At this point, I had really bad anxiety. I was battling on and off with depression, just for various things. I think some post-trauma or something, like family wise, yeah, it just was not a very good situation to be in. I got to the point where I couldn't leave the house, and I remember one time I left the house to go and walk to a physio appointment, and I got to like the underpass near my house, and I just broke down, and I literally ran home. Like, I didn't want to be out in public because I was so just self-conscious and just messed up in the head. I was not okay. So came home and I was like, right, I need to change. So I was looking at self-help books, and I read a book called The Goddess Revolution by Mel Wells, and it honestly changed my life. It changed my whole perspective of myself, the way I treated myself. And then from there, I was like, right, I need to build a healthy relationship with food, with my body. So I decided to do a bulk. So I did a bulking phase, right? Because I had been on and off dieting for years, and I was fed up of feeling restricted and not being able to eat a piece of chocolate and not binge or feel guilty. So I decided to do that. Best decision I ever made, because I was gaining strength. I felt so strong. I got my periods back within like a couple months, and I've been regular ever since. I just felt amazing. I was so happy. And at this point, I was a personal trainer. I worked at Nuffield Health for a little bit and was going to do a personal training course with them, and then decided not to. You're so funny. What are you doing? So I was already a personal trainer at this point. I decided to just go for it. I did my personal training course privately, 3.5 grand later, and 6 months I was a qualified personal trainer. Did I learn anything on my PT course? No, I didn't, because no one does. Honestly, if you want to be a personal trainer, you've got to do a PT course, of course, because you need the qualification. But after that, you need to invest money in yourself and your education. You need to get experience, because you won't learn anything on your personal training course. And a lot of stuff they teach you is actually very old way of thinking and is not accurate now. So did that, did my bulk, was personal training people at the time, and that was maybe a couple years ago. So I did my bulk, like I say, and I was personal training people at the time, loving life, loving my business. I was full out personal training, making the most money I ever had, more money than I ever thought I could ever make. And I loved it. And then I decided to obviously do a cut. I had a good relationship with myself and food, and I was so happy, and I wanted to teach other women that you don't have to feel like shit, and you don't have to not eat pizza and chocolate. And I successfully did that, and I still do that to this day. So I did my cut and then got pregnant. So this one was made, basically I looked so good, Ash just couldn't help himself. So he was made in Switzerland. Sorry, probably a little bit too much detail, but yes, he is technically made in Switzerland. So that sort of brings us up from here, and obviously through that time I've been pregnant, had a baby, and it's just been fabulous. Like, at this point I'm sort of like refinding myself again. I didn't get any like postpartum depression. I think I had like a midlife crisis when he was about 6 months old. You are terrorizing everything. So yeah, I had basically had a crisis when he was about 6 months old. I had a midlife crisis, and I think that's mainly just because I was adjusting to having a baby, having a full-time job, my own business, and it was just all becoming a little bit too much. My issue was I thought that I was half-arsing everything. So I thought I was half-arsing being a mum, I was half-arsing my job, I wasn't where I wanted to be with my job, because obviously I had come from making X amount and having X amount of clients from personal training to pretty much being completely online and having to build an online coaching business. It was just a big pill to swallow. I just sort of felt that I was going backwards, and all my hard work had sort of gone down the drain, and I didn't resent him for it, no way. I didn't at all. I would never change him from the world. But as someone who wants to be successful and wants my business to go well and to help a lot of people, it was very frustrating. So I had my 6-month midlife crisis, and then from there things have been good. I think I've settled and adjusted to obviously juggling everything like I am doing right now. Oh, you've definitely had a poo sticks. I think I'm gonna leave that there, because this one clearly wants to go and play, and I can't deny him that. So I think I'll do another video a little bit more from the pregnancy and then the postpartum, and sort of a little bit more up to date of where I am. But that is my sort of background, how I got into health and fitness. And like you can see and tell, it didn't come from a good place originally, but now I'm in a much better place with myself. And if I didn't get to a point where I physically hated myself, I would have not took the steps and took the path that I did, and I'm so glad that I did. So I'm gonna leave that there. Thank you very much for watching this YouTube video. I hope it was interesting. I hope you enjoyed watching this little monkey bear. Look, say bye bye everyone. Say bye bye everyone. Bye bye, tata.